Let's bring him in now, as a matter of fact. License plate guy. We have a busy show today. We're going to do everything that we do. Locks of the week, fantasy play him if you got him. Want to get into the Abdul Carter conversation. But Joe Ruback, nobody even knows your name is Joe Ruback. You're always referred to as license plate guy. So license plate guy, welcome to Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession. How are you, my man?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm in a good mood now. I'm ready for the next game. So let's go.
Nobody gets it more than me. I mean, I was a hot mess on Sunday night. I was livid about it. I was disgusted. I was despondent. I'm back to the land of the living now, but that was brutal, man. Were you at that game in Denver?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was. It was the first time in a long time, probably since San Francisco game, that I felt physically ill. But you know what? I also don't talk a lot of crap, especially in the last 15 years. So the first half, I was loving it. I didn't tweet so much. I didn't go at fans a lot. I'm gonna wait until the triple digits, the zeros are on the clock, and it was like a slow moving car crash. I couldn't look away, and I saw it happening.
It was terrible. I mean, the kicker was terrible. I thought the decision making, throwing the football was very questionable. Dart, they blew the game. Then he led them back down the field for that game-leading touchdown, and then to give it away like that, and to give it away like the way they did with just getting into a prevent defense, Joe, it was awful watching that.
You know what? I think what bothers me the most about that is when you go into prevent like that, you're really preventing yourself to win, in my eyes. What bothered me most was listening to Shane talk about, what he would have done different if given the chance after the Dallas game. Oh, so fast forward a few weeks, you're given the chance again.
Chance, right?
And that kind of bothers me the most. And look, there's blame to go around for all. Everybody's calling for his head, but and I'm a Dable fan. But Dable, you have headsets on. Say no, that's not what we're doing. So
you're the CEO, right? I mean, this is your team. If you don't like something, you've got to step up and say no. You can't send three. Carter and Lawrence weren't on the field.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, you don't have to say anything more than that. When two of your best players, your best player and another very good player are not on the field, enough said, Dave. You just said it.
Yep, I think so. So this is interesting for me. I was 2 years old. I don't remember the exact moment, but I remember the story being told. And my dad, it was 1975, maybe it was 76. I walked into the den and my dad was watching a Giants game. And it was just like that, that moment of, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I mean, your respect, I haven't missed a game since 1978, right? Like I refuse, weddings, funerals, you name it. I'm not going to it. Giants are first and foremost, which my wife adores. But my question to you is, how did you come about this? Because there's not a lot of people like me out there, and you're the equivalent of my lunacy.
Yeah, I love it. Say, I'm exactly with you, though I did open up the stadium with my dad against the Cowboys. I think it was at 76, I believe, is when Giant Stadium opened, and I was there. So I got to win. I was a little kid, but we had tickets. We had a couple down low and a couple up top. And it was our ritual. You went to the deli, you got your sandwiches, you brought your carpet to put on the floor for your feet, your newspaper, you got everything going, and you didn't open up your thermos until halftime. So, I fast forward all the way. I used to go to one or two away games with my dad, maybe even my brother, when they were both alive. Unfortunately, they passed. And in 2000, I decided to go to every game. They made it all the way to Super Bowl, which we don't talk about that much. And I haven't missed a game since. So this is my 25th year, every game home and away.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the amount of, just time and energy, because for me, and I give you a lot of respect, man, because by the time I finished watching the game, by the time I finished watching the Broncos game, I was done. Like I was shot, I was spent, I had no energy left. Like physically, I was absolutely exhausted. So you now have to leave the stadium, go to a hotel, get on a plane, fly back. Like that must have been miserable on Sunday into Monday.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that's when my amazing race begins. The game ends. I'm already late. I don't really miss work. That's another thing. I'm an athletic director of a school, so my superintendent, my principal, really give me kudos for always making it back. So either I take a red eye or the last flight out, and to jump in an Uber, to get yourself to the airport, to get through security, to get on a plane, and you're so miserable,
Oh,
and all you see are, you got Denver Bronco fans, giving you the smirk, and just to get home only to get an hour of sleep and then get up and have to go to work. It's not fun. Sometimes it's not fun.
it's awful. I remember the one game that I remember, you probably remember this, 1988, Jets Giants. It was a Jets home game. And my dad, yes, in the corner, 27-21. My dad somehow, because like tickets were not as accessible as they seem to be now.
Yeah.
You could never get Giants tickets. And my dad was an accountant and made calls to a client or a friend or something. We got tickets to, that was the week 16, I guess, the Giants and the Jets game. Giants win that game and they win the division. They lose that game and there's a chance they don't get into the postseason. So they lose 27-21, Toon, corner of the end zone, miserable.
I see it.
Yeah, it was awful. We walked back to the car. You talk about don't say anything. We did not speak. We did not speak on the walk back to the car. We did not speak on the whole entire car ride. We got home and I said, if you remember this now, the Rams played the Niners that night. And if the Niners won the game and beat the Rams, the Giants would go into the playoffs. The Niners laid down like dogs.
Yeah.
And I said to my dad before they go, I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm so angry. I'm so upset. If the Giants get in, they get in. If they don't get in, they don't get in. I don't care. He goes, you'll care. I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
When they kick off that game, you will be the biggest Niners fan in the world. So I don't know, man. There's not a lot of people that I feel like this unbelievable connection bond to, like I do you. But you've been through these battles. You've been through these wars. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible the things that you take from being a Giants fan.
I absolutely love that you just said that, because I remember, look, we could go back and forth with some horrible losses. Same thing with like a Flipper Anderson, and then just running into the end zone and running into the locker room. But it's funny walking back with your father, just like you said, and like nothing could be said, and he'll turn around and be like, "What did you say? I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything." So God, that brings back memories.
Yeah, no, so many memories. So, what do you think about this team right now? Because the expectations were I think were low-ish, and they brought back the same offense. And Russell Wilson is just, I mean, doesn't seem all that good right now. Dart seems to have really kind of changed the entire trajectory of this organization. You're around this team. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I took a lot of heat because back when they got Wilson and Jameis Winston, I didn't want either of them. I didn't care, only because I knew that the team would eventually be turned over to a rook. And it didn't matter if you kept Locke around, Tommy DeVito around. Yes, they're not going to bring it to the promised land. Yes, when they got Wilson, I immediately thought the Giants were 2 games better no matter what. So I understand all that. But at the end of the day, I didn't care. It didn't move the needle for me one bit. And here we are, not moving the needle one bit. And here we are with Dart, who I think Dart and Scatterbo, yeah, I unbelievably cherish the energy that they bring. I don't care about the dumb memes being posted. I don't care about anything. We have talked changing culture for over 10 years now. They have changed the culture. What do I feel about the team? I think they're bipolar. One week you're going to get a great team. The next week you're not going to get a team. One week you're going to get a team.
But right, 3 quarters in Denver.
Yes, with that said, I was just going to correct. With that said, I was just going to say, back-to-back games, 30-something points with Dart, whether he lost or not. Did you expect the Giants to do anything other than 4, 5, 6 wins, 6 being unbelievable this year? No. So we're right on the track for it, and I think we're already ahead of schedule.
Listen, I think there's a lot of reason for excitement. I don't know if you saw Bill Barnwell from ESPN put out an article this week. He said clearly, like, the Giants are ahead of the curve. The quarterback is special. My buddy, and I'm sure you know him, Jordan Renan, like, talked to him early this morning, and he's like, and he's very difficult to get to say positive stuff because it's been a long time since it's been positive. And he's like, listen, this kid is the quarterback. Like Matthew Stafford said it. Vic Fangio said, he goes, the teams that passed on this quarterback, they're gonna feel it. I mean, for the first time in such a long time, I have hope. It's like they finally have the quarterback. Joe, you know this. If you don't have the quarterback, you got nothing. And Daniel Jones was not going to happen here. DeVito, none of these guys. They finally, it feels like they actually have the quarterback.
And that is why Dable's not going anywhere, my friend. No matter what happens the rest of the year, he pushed for the guy. He got his guy, and that guy is going to move forward. And a lot of people disagree with me. I have some people in the beat writers, some media. They think that that the romance of Shane and Dable are going to be a little bit messed up. One's going to go, one might stay. I don't know. But I think he pushed so hard for his guy and he got his guy. He's not going anywhere.
All right, so I don't know what I want yet. I mean, for me, it's they have 10 more games, and I'd like to see how it plays out and how he coaches and how the quarterback comes along and all those things. But the one thing I would say on the flip side, I don't know if this is your opinion, you want him back, or this is what you're thinking will in fact happen. They're losing games because of coaching right now. Like they lost the Dallas, in my opinion, they lost that Dallas game because of coaching. They lost the Broncos game because of coaching. Now I think they have to take some blame. I know they turned the players turned it over, but they turned it over 5 times. They should have won that Saints game. Joe, you could argue they probably should be 5-2 right now. The coaches have to take some responsibility for that.
I mean, come on, would they get 2 or 3 delay of games? You're darn right. Coaching has to take responsibility. So I'm gonna go in the same breath that you just said, and that is we got 10 games to prove that your butt better stay here. So I think that if Dart continues to play the way he does, and the Giants fix a couple of things, and they're still putting up 27 to 34 points a game, it'd be very difficult to get rid of him. With that said, this is a business. Heads are going to roll. Maybe one head, maybe 2 heads. Dable and Wink, something happened there, and Wink got shown the door. Dable was able to handpick his defensive coordinator, and he did. What happens from here after that? If you're firing him, shouldn't you be held accountable since you're the one that handpicked him? So you're right. There's 10 more games. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eagles this week, beating the Eagles 2 weeks ago was one of the highlights that I've got to experience in the last God knows how many years. How do you feel? What team do you hate the most? Now I'll tell you mine before I even get to yours. Mine are one of 2, and it depends who's better. It's either the Cowboys or the Eagles, but I detest both of those football teams.
Yeah. So look, we're of similar age. You're always going to hate America's team first. They always, growing up, it was only one. It wasn't the Eagles. It was always the Cowboys. Even though Washington with Riggins and Theismann and they were hated, but not as, even when the linemen would try and go at Joe Morris, they were never of the caliber that the Dallas Cowboys. Not until the Eagles started to be good. The fan base we always hated. But you're right. Now it's whoever is on top we hate more. It's always going to be the Cowboys for me, but I'll tell you, I hate the Eagles this week. I can tell you that right now.
The one thing I'd say is Washington is not in that category. Like it's Eagles, it's Cowboys. Yeah. I listen, I don't like Washington. I don't root for Washington, but they're not in that same hatred, vein as the other 2 teams.
They never will be. And I don't know if it's because they're irrelevant. I really can't say that as a Giants fan, but they're kind of irrelevant. I don't care who takes over for them. I knew the sophomore jinx was going to come. The last time they thought they were going to win a Super Bowl, RG3 was taking over. So yeah, I don't even pay much attention to them until they do something.
Yeah. Well, listen, they had a good year last year. He looked like a good quarterback, but I worry about health with him because he's a slight guy and he's already banged up in year 2. So you go to every.
He's a really good quarterback.
He's a really good quarterback. You go to every.
He is
amazing. What fan base gives you the hardest time? Like what fan base?
Without a doubt, I got a couple more days before I gotta take my meds. There's only one spot. I mean, Philly is by far the toughest place to ever go anywhere every year, no matter what. Whether it's parking your car, whether it's walking to the parking lot, you can't go to a tailgate without getting killed. You can't go into the game without getting killed. Look, when you're in Philly and your team wins, you're in trouble. When you're in Philly and your team loses, you're still in trouble.
So what does trouble mean? Like how far does it go?
No, so that's a really good question because I mean, look, they're very aggressive with their mouths. Anywhere you go, you're going to have drunk people. I don't even care if you're at MetLife. So let's not go and say that doesn't exist in every stadium because it does. When I say in trouble, they look for a more confrontational, whether it's physically or mentally than any other fan base. They just do. Like you hear it in the stands. You're going to hear it if you're going to get a food. You're going to hear it. You go to the bathroom. You're going to hear it anywhere. So That is true. They look for confrontation more than any other place I've ever been.
You don't ever have to fight anybody at any of these games, do you?
No, I play it off rather well. You know, when you lose, what are you going to do? You're going to say, "Oh yeah, we got four Super Bowls." I don't play that card either. You know, learn the game is the only thing you'll ever hear from me. But no, you just keep on your path and you're good. I say this to anybody going to a Giants Eagle game. Depending on where you sit means a lot, Dave. I sit behind the Giants bench. I sit in earshot of security, in earshot of police, in earshot of my team. When you're in the upper deck and it could take 10 minutes to get to you, I'd keep my mouth shut.
What's your relationship with these players? Like you're such a super fan that like I've asked you before, like, do you know this guy? Oh yeah, yeah, you know them all. How does that come about?
Yeah, I mean, look, it dates back all the way to Joe Morris, but let's fast forward to someone like a Brandon Jacobs who saw me in the team hotel on the road and blatantly said, "Hey, I won't use the language he used, but he's like, who are you? Who the f are you?" And then we sat at the bar and had something to eat for 4 hours on a Saturday night before a game. So when they see you and they see your fandom and they follow you on social media, and I'm not about, wanting anything or doing anything, just what's best for my team. You form relationships, whether it's a friendship, whether we're working together on a charity, which I do a ton of. But, players talk. And, I got a call from Nubin a couple weeks ago. He wanted to do something. Nubin heard from so-and-so who heard from so-and-so that I'm the guy. So relationships kind of form like that, and they form naturally, and that's cool. And don't forget, I do my big celebrity softball game with the Giants, and a lot of players get to see how I work through there.
Maybe I'll get an invitation to the big celebrity softball game this year.
Open for you.
All
Always
right.
has been, always will be.
All-time favorite player. Who is it?
It's got to be the guy that changed the game of football, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, that's
No, hands down. Got no choice.
the thing is, because you talked about us being similar age. Like the Giants drafted him when I'm 8 years old, and it's just like it was magical, man. I mean, I can't even explain what it was like.
Dave, remember all the 56s you used to see. It was unbelievable to see 80,000, 76,000 56s. Yeah, you got some 11s in there. You got some 58s in there. You got some 53s, Carl Banks. Harry Carson. You got all those in there. And Bavaros. And then not until, fast forward, not until probably Cruz and then Odell, did you see anything like that?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, he was so different. He was so dynamic. And, I got to a big fight with Peter King on the air a couple of years ago because JJ Watt was having one of those years, remember? And Peter, I was live on the air. Peter said, he goes, he's as good as Lawrence Taylor. I was like, come on, man. I was like, are you kidding me?
It's such a fight.
It's crazy talk. He's not ever be. It's not possible.
That's such a fight to me. It really is, because he changed the game. He changed the way you draft. He changed the way you pick a player, in the draft. He changed the offensive tackle, so you can't compare. It's ridiculous.
Lastly, I'll let you go get back because amazingly you have a job. How is that possible? You're the greatest boss that walks the earth that you have a full-time job. AJ Brown didn't practice again today, 3 straight days. What do you think?
Yeah, so a little birdie told me that he's 50-50, maybe won't even play. But Dave, did he play last time the Giants played him a couple weeks ago?
Field. He didn't do anything, but he
didn't do anything but complain about it at the end of the game. Hey, look, I think the Giants are going to come in fired up to Philly again. I love that the players are keeping Dart very close to them. I love what Daniel Bellinger said, like, hey, keep your head on straight, stick with the vets, stick with us, don't go wandering off where you shouldn't be. And I think they're going to go fired up. I think the bipolarness of this team will show up on Sunday, and they're gonna do well again.
So you don't worry about like a hangover from what you just saw in Denver at all?
You better nope. You've learned this from your dad. You've learned this from your fandom. You better have a very clear head. Your memory better be very short. As soon as Monday hit, I'm sure there were still some hangovers, But once Tuesday hit, it better be out of your system and ready for the next week. This is your job. Go do your freaking job.
I agree. All right, man. You are awesome. I know this is not a long trip for you down the turnpike on Sunday to watch the Giants and the Eagles, but let's make it a clean sweep over this dirty football team. Let's beat the Eagles and let's get back into the winning ways.
I hate the Eagles. Go Giants, baby.
Let's go Giants. That's license plate guy Joe Ruback joining us here. Thanks, man. Awesome stuff. Really appreciate it.
Love you guys. Thank you.
All right. So if you like that interview, check out this video or other interviews. And of course, as always, don't forget to subscribe.